He came to the assembly of Parikshit Maharaj, who had been cursed by a Brahmin, and heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of Sri Sukadev Goswami. Although Srila Sutta Goswami was born into a Brahmin family, he possesses transcendental knowledge and has direct realization of the Lord. Therefore, the sages in Naimisharanya accepted him as their guru and asked him 6 questions. What is ultimately good for the jiva soul? Through what practice or religion can the soul get ultimate happiness? And so on. Approaching the questions of the sages with much respect, Srila Sutta Goswami Pad replied, Savai pumsam parodharma yato bhakti rahokshaje ahaitaki apritahata yayatma suprashidati. The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 2nd Chapter, verse 7. No matter how many religious works a jiva soul performs according to its capacity, its main and topmost religion is Bhagavat Dharma, devotion unto the Supreme Personality of God. Practicing this topmost religion, devotion brings complete satisfaction to one's soul, or Atma. In Kali Yuga, jiva souls have a short lifetime. They are unfortunate, disturbed by diseases, and covered by all kinds of unwanted elements. If these jiva souls practice devotion to the Lord, that is, they can practice hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. of the holy name of the Lord, narrations about the Lord and his pastimes and his qualities, they will get spiritual benefit and happiness. If you practice fire sacrifices, austerities, vows, etc., anything except for devotion to the Supreme Lord Vasudev, the soul will not attain the happiness of the soul. The authors of the scriptures say that this devotion is causeless and irresistible. Selfish undertaking, knowledge-seeking, fire sacrifices, etc. cannot obstruct such pure devotion. Just as the current of the Ganges automatically goes towards the ocean, in the same way, the unrestrained current of the Mandakini river of devotion makes all kinds of happiness. Besides the happiness of devotion, that is, the joy of enjoyment, the joy of liberation, or the joy of realizing the soul, the joy of attaining perfections, insignificant, and brings pure devotion to the heart of the devotees who are intent on attaining divine love. Such devotion is called exclusive, nirguna, or direct devotion. It is impossible to get such devotion by practicing any religion that belongs to the 3-mode material nature created by Maya, controlled by goodness, passion, ignorance, etc. There is no cause or effect of devotion. The purpose of getting devotion is devotion itself. Devotion, the Lord and the devotee are all eternal and supramundane. However, how does one get devotion? This devotion comes by the mercy of Sri Guru Pad Padma, the embodiment of shelter, Ashraya Vigraha, and the Supreme Lord, the object of worship, Vishaya Vigraha. Through karma and other practices, you can enjoy material world, gratify your material senses, or get even more heavenly happiness, even attain the post of Brahma, but such happiness is transient. The whole universe is destroyed by the time of universal devastation. Karmanam parinam itvad avirinchad amangalam. An intelligent person should see that any material activity is subject to constant transformation, and that even on the planet of Lord Brahma, there is thus simply unhappiness. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:19-18. It is not possible to get uninterrupted happiness or genuine happiness by practicing any transient process, karma, etc. Knowing the result of such practices to be perishable and transitory, knowledgeable persons leave all such practices and strive to become fixed in the plane of soul by practicing renunciation, etc., and subsequently getting released from the happiness of material enjoyment. Even if a jiva soul is released from its conditioned state and experiences joy within this plane, it still cannot get eternal happiness and real peace of the soul. As long as an eternal, cognizant, and blissful particle does not experience love for the great, eternal, cognizant, and blissful Supreme Lord or Supersoul, as long as the soul does not become fixed in the plane where the Lord is the object of service, and a jiva is his servant, and does not practice devotion by serving and worshipping the Lord, there is no way for the jiva soul to get real and eternal peace or happiness. If you want to bring ultimate happiness to the soul, you should forget all practices like karma, jnana, yoga, etc., and eternally, attentively serve and worship the Lord. Practice shravan and kirtan of the Lord's qualities, pastimes, and glories. A spiritual practice accomplished through all senses is called Bhagavat Dharma or Bhakti Dharma, transcendental religion or religion of devotion. Devotion can be of two types. One is general devotion and another is loving devotion. Serving, worshipping the Lord with all one's senses, as well as practicing shravan, kirtan, etc., of his qualities and pastimes with the goal of attaining loving devotion is called practicing devotion or sadhana bhakti. Such practice matures into divine love. When practicing devotion, practitioners naturally start feeling renunciation or apathy towards lower spiritual things, material things, enjoyment, etc. There is a prescription found in the scriptures that advises jiva souls to follow varnashram according to one's nature and qualities. If jiva souls situated in one of the varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, etc., practice the prescribed religion for a particular ashram according to their qualifications, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, etc., but do not feel taste for hearing and glorifying the holy name and pastimes of the Lord, the true, eternal, beneficial practices, then following this system of varnashram will be useless. This truth is extolled in the crest jewel of all the revealed scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma Moolam Hi Bhagavan. The root of religion is the Supreme Lord. The true purpose of following any religion is to make the Supreme Lord happy. If you practice religion focusing on the satisfaction of the Lord, you will get taste for Hari Katha. To get this taste for the narrations about the Supreme Lord is the gist of all religious practices. The purpose or result of practicing Varnashram Dharma is not to become rich. The main purpose of religious practice is to awaken the inquiry about the transcendental truth. The transcendental truth is Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, the impersonal, universal form of the Lord and the localized, all-pervading Supersoul, and finally the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If jiva souls become eager to serve any of the three aspects of the Lord, they can become free from the bondage of karma and attain the result without any hindrances. Pursuing knowledge allows one to come to the impersonal, non-variegated aspect of the Lord, Nirvishesh Brahma. Yoga grants one the darshan of the all-pervading Supersoul. In each of these cases, jiva souls become released from the suffering and pain of the material world, from death and birth, from unhappiness and struggle. But even then, liberation is not the highest and ultimate necessity of the jiva soul. The extreme necessity of the jiva soul is divine love for Godhead. By satisfying the Lord, or by striving to make the Lord happy through the practice of devotional processes, one reaches the highest spiritual attainment, divine love for the Lord. Practice of devotion is extremely easy and effortless, unlike jnana, yoga, etc., which involve a lot of struggle. The result of practicing jnana, yoga, etc. is attainment of liberation, mystic perfections, etc. But this result can be easily attained through the practice of devotion. Practice of devotion means engaging in hearing, chanting, remembering the Lord's holy names, qualities, pastimes, and glories. Great souls who possess divine vision have prescribed to eternally and attentively practice hearing, chanting the Lord's glories. When practitioners of devotion continually engage themselves in the worship of the Lord and discussions about the Lord, then hankering for religiosity, material prosperity, other desires, etc., find no place in their hearts. All secondary pursuits, bodily identification, ego, the world of I and mine, that obstruct the service to the Lord are completely removed. The Lord is the only object of service, and the jiva soul is his servant. The sword of such awakened consciousness severs all gross and subtle designations of the jiva soul. The taste for the narrations about the Lord does not come naturally, on its own, to those who are forever unfortunate and covered by unwanted elements. To awaken the taste in such souls, great souls who have divine vision prescribe to serve and worship the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev, who assumes the form of a devotee possessing such taste for Hari Katha. Continuous service to Sri Gurudev, the greatest devotee, awakens faith and taste for the narrations about the Lord. Moreover, continuous hearing, chanting, remembering, etc., the holy name, qualities, pastimes of the Lord, in strict adherence to Sri Guru, removes all desires for selfish happiness, all types of unwanted elements, even desires for gain and fame, etc. It completely cleanses and purifies one's heart. Such service to Sri Guru Padma, the Lord manifest in the form of a devotee, hearing and reading Holy Bhagavatam, the Lord manifest in the form of the scripture, along with hearing, chanting the Lord's holy name, hearing and glorifying the pastimes of the Lord, etc., arouse eager taste of unflinching devotion to the Lord in the plane free of unwanted elements. At that time, the waves of lust, anger, etc. will not arise in one's heart. Pure goodness will appear in one's heart, throwing away all accumulated qualities of passion and ignorance. Attaining this state, practicing devotees' eagerness to serve the Lord will increase in their pure hearts, enveloped in pure goodness. When practitioners practice Krishna consciousness at every moment in the association of distincted kindred devotees, they attain within their spiritual form the transcendental knowledge about the Lord by the influence of Samvit, omniscient potency, and Hladini, ecstatic potency. Attaining the state of freedom from all unwanted elements, such souls effortlessly attain steadiness and detachment and practice devotional life with all their senses. As a result of such practice, they will get the darshan of the Lord. This is the acme of practicing life. If you are raised to this level, you will no longer have any trace of hesitation or doubt in your heart about the transcendental plane. Divine love appears within a heart radiating pure goodness. Until and unless divine love is awakened, you can neither see the Lord nor experience the highest devotional mellows, as much as the soul cannot attain supreme peace. If you want to find ultimate happiness or get eternal and real peace, all you need to do is always practice pure devotion or akinchana bhakti, materially impoverished devotion, without any deceit, with the intent and eagerness to make the Lord happy. So, any thoughts? Sounds rather easy, right?
Or is it because I'm younger and it's just difficult in my brain?
Well, I think the main thing there that he explained is how easy it actually is. That It's actually, we just need to want to serve. That all the other things,
She does.
yeah, then all those other things.
They word it really difficultly. They could kind of summarize it all in one sentence and it becomes so much easier.
Well,
Like how you do.
he does. He gives a very simple explanation. He says actually it is that devotion is much easier than gyan and yoga, and so achieving those things, he says, takes a lot of hard work and suffering. But he says devotion comes very easily. It can be very easy, but it's all about what is in our heart. What do we want to do? All we have to do is want to serve Guru, and then everything will come from there. So, sounds like you got it. You got this.
They say also, like, there are two things that we have to remember.
Yeah.
And that is never to forget Krishna and always to think of Krishna.
Yes.
And that whatever you do, you try to remember him.
And
Because
there's
there's...
no blame.
Exactly. So then it's easy. Like, the Lord is everywhere. There's no place where He's not. So to train yourself to always think of Him.
So if you have devotion, you're always thinking of Krishna. You can see Krishna everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Prahlad Maharaj, you know
Yeah.
the story of Prahlad? Yeah.
Yeah.
So his father was saying, oh, your Krishna, he is in this pillar also. And Prahlad was like, yes, he is there. And then Nrsingadev, he appears from that pillar. So
Yeah.
he saw Krishna everywhere.
But once you achieve, maybe you start thinking it is easy. Before it is the problem. So
Well-
everything in this world is like this only.
Like, I've heard a few times that sometimes people have asked Srila Acharyadev questions like, so how do we, get sincerity, or how do we be sincere? And Srila Acharyadev, he just looks bewildered. He's like, be sincere. Like, what is the problem? So the problem, I guess, is not so much in serving or having that sort of devotional mood. The problem is in us that we want other things. We have some other desires that are separate from that. And so actually, if we really wanted that, it's so simple. All you have to do, like she says, is just think of Krishna. Want to serve Krishna, want to serve Gurudev. It's, how hard is that,
So, for example, in this place, when you're reading, my mind was going here, there. It couldn't stay here.
But then that is where we have to internalize and actually examine ourselves and say, okay, well, why is this happening? Why do we want these other things? Why is my mind getting distracted? Because we have some separate self-interest, actually. And that's a fact. And it's not that we should try and beat ourselves for this, but it's a fact. We have that. And we recognize, and we're trying to correct that and slowly, slowly go in this direction. Someone, they may have the great fortune that they have decided, okay, I do not want those things. I only want this, and they are focused on the feet of Gurudev. That is their only desire. Like Srila Acharyadev, like you will hit when he speaks, only thing he's interested in is serving his Gurudev. Nothing else. He has no separate interest. Only the lotus feet of his Gurudev. Like when he gave the darshan on the disappearance day of Srila Guru Maharaj, like, to me it was mind-blowing something he said, but he said, actually, the greatest qualification of Srila Sridhar Maharaj was that he gave us Srila Govinda Maharaj. Like, this is like Srila Sridhar Maharaj, the most esteemed Vaishnava in our line, who Srila Bhaktisiddhanta called the guardian of devotion, and all his god brothers revered him. But Acharya Maharaj is saying the greatest qualification of Sridhar Maharaj is that he gave us Srila Govinda Maharaj. He's so fixed on his Gurudev and how wonderful he is and amazing he is, that is all he can see is his Gurudev in everything. Like when he was talking about Guru Maharaj, everything ultimately related back to Govinda Maharaj. Because only through Govinda Maharaj could he know Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So, I don't know, like I said, I mean, really, if we hear what the Vaishnavas are asking from us, to read something, to chant, to hear, to offer to the deities, like, they're not asking so much in reality. But what is the problem? That we have some separate identification and we think we are the body, and that we associate with all the things that come with that, and we want that, we want this, we want a position, we want some plan that we have in our mind of how the world should be, and all the things that we think will give us happiness and security. But in reality, they won't. So it's not a difficult thing, devotion. The difficulty is actually that we just have to want it. And that's where we have to look at ourselves and examine our own sincerity. And say, okay, well, do I really want this? Like, what am I prepared to give up to get that? And that's where it gets a little difficult, I guess.
I think it also works the other way, when you kind of disassemble all the bright perspectives which this world is offering to you, and understand that there's no root, it's nothing valuable, and then naturally you develop detachment or disinterest in what the world is offering to you, and then you're less drawn away to do so many things, and then you can be more sober to actually hearing, what this says,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that takes us to a certain point, but it's only actually like by positive engagement with the sort of devotional platform that actually we can get attachment to that and realize that the thing is lesser. Like,
that engagement would include some time free from other things.
from?
Free from other things.
Yes.
Free from other things.
Well, this is where in that chapter Srila Charideva is saying that actually everything that is prescribed, Shravanam Kirtanam, and all the other devotional practices, they must be done under the guidance of the Guru. Otherwise, if we are not doing it under that guidance, then it's just our own self-interest. Like, there's so many scriptures out there, and yet we are told sometimes to stay away from those and not to read so much, only read what we are prescribed to read. Why? Why is it that we are told to do these things? If we're not doing something under the guidance of the Guru, whether it's hearing, chanting, whatever, it's only actually our own mind. It's our own construction of what we think is the best thing to do. There's no actual backing behind what we are doing. We're just doing what we want to do in reality. So there may be some little, what's the word? Like, there may be some, help me out here, Prabhu. Some sukriti or something, there may be some tinge of benefit to what we're doing, but it's not the highest thing. We're not getting that real backing.
Yeah, for a different person in a different time of their life is necessarily different. Like, some person needs a little bit more, let's say reading this, another person needs, okay, enough reading for you, you just do this.
Yeah.
So like, everyone's, you can say, unique case.
Yeah.
And the Guru can nicely prescribe exactly what you need.
Exactly. Like, we may think this is what's best for us, but we don't know, because we don't even know who we are. That's the reality. We have no idea who we are. We still think we are this body, this mind, and all the things that go with it. So how the heck are we going to know what's best for us? We cannot. So the Guru has to be there at every step of the way. Like, in everything I've seen and read lately from Srila Acharya Maharaj, the more and more I read, the more I see Krishna is almost like in the background, you know? The focus is purely on the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev. Like, our only engagement with Krishna is under his guidance. And that is like what I was watching a video of Srila Govinda Maharaj earlier, and where he talks about the analogy of the lotus and with the disciple and the guru. And Srila Acharya Maharaj was talking about it in the reading we were doing yesterday. And without the shelter of Sri Gurudev, we will get burnt by Krishna, or the sun. He gives this analogy. Krishna is the sun, the disciple is like the lotus flower, and Gurudev is the water that surrounds the lotus. But the minute you take the lotus flower outside of the water, then we will burn under that intensity of Krishna. Because Krishna is demanding that level of service intensity that is more than we can ever tolerate. That, the only person who can tolerate that is Srimati Radharani. She is the greatest servitor, and that is her position. So everyone else is acting under the guidance of her and her, followers. So Srila Gurudev, as the follower of Srimati Radharani, he's giving us guidance. He is that shelter, that connection to Krishna. If we try to serve Krishna directly, we will not last. We cannot.
So what's the book you're reading?
This one is Guidance Volume 4.
Oh, okay.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I have the book.
You have that one. Yeah, because your father had the books, right? Okay. Should we read a little bit more, or anybody wants to speak? We can read more. Okay. This chapter is entitled Association and Mercy of Sri Gurupad Padma, Association Mercy of Sri Gurupad Padma gives divine love.
Can I say something?
Yes, Didi.
I think also, like, in this world we are suffering, and we want happiness actually, and until we understand that we are a soul and that we are a servitor of the Lord, that will bring us happiness. Until that, we have to develop extreme eagerness for that. Otherwise, it keeps on mixing, and then it is lukewarm. We have to get some eagerness, understanding that in this material world, it's like compared from glass to diamonds to jewels. Spiritual world, everything is inside yourself. By developing your humility, your tolerance, because we feel all the time there is something coming up in our system, that we get angry or we get greedy or lustful. That is the mind. But by calming it, they say chanting the holy name of the Lord in that process is the main Mahaprabhu came with that, to rescue us from this, say, deplorable situation. So much suffering. If we not suffer, then we see other people suffering. So we are in a very fallen and desperate situation, and Mahaprabhu came to give us this solution, and that is to have eagerness, extreme eagerness, to get out of the suffering by surrendering to our Lord and knowing no happiness is outside of us, by being in another person or by circumstances or things to buy. It's not in there. It will break down or it will transform. The happiness is in yourself when you see, oh, I become more humble, and you do that with your Lord. Before you have a guru, you do that with your Lord, who is the Paramatma, who is everywhere, in everybody else also as Paramatma. You do that in relationship, because the relationship and the connection of the soul with the Lord everywhere, in everybody else, that is your practicing life. by becoming more humble, becoming more tolerant, giving honor to others, and you see that is a wonderful practicing life already. Meanwhile, you chant the holy name, and there's so much noise in the beginning of the holy name, so much distraction, but you pull the mind back again, like, I'm a servant of the Lord, of the divine couple, I'm there for them, for nothing else. If you understand that here is nothing for us to have in this material world, that is lifetimes we have tried to get happiness from them. In many life forms, in many planetary systems, it's a plane of suffering, even in the higher heavenly planets. So we understand that, we see that. It's not difficult to see that, also in our life. So this eagerness and to practice with humility and tolerance, always remembering the Lord, chanting the holy name, that is already a good recipe until we meet the Guru, and then we can practicing more, surrender more and more and more. He gives the holy name, and then, we have progress in our spiritual life.
Yes, I kind of agree. At the same time, I think there's something which I would stipulate is we find that Srila Charya Maharaj, he was saying in the reading we were doing yesterday from Guidance Wands, that even chanting the holy name without taking initiation from the Guru, this is not something substantial. There has to be the Guru there for us to chant, for us to hear.
You don't have a Guru.
No.
And if your heart, they say also, even though you're not initiated, but your heart is eager and pure, and it's not it is the eagerness, it is the wanting to
But
go
from eagerness will come the Guru, no?
Sure, that will happen. Lord Nityananda gives the Guru, but you have to start also somewhere when you have an
Of course,
Guru.
but like you said, in some way we have some agyata sukriti, something is coming from within and the Paramatma is guiding us. But he will guide us to our Guru, and only then can our real spiritual life start. That is the starting point for everything, no?
Yeah. Guru, Vaishnavas, it's also the quality, the quality of the association.
Yeah.
Who is in our association. That all can help. That all can bring out this pure spiritual, more and more pure spiritual consciousness.
Yeah. Performing his pastimes, Sri Guru Padma comes to this material world from the transcendental world to give surrendered souls the joy of association with the worshipable Lord. This Guru current has been coming since time immemorial. Just as creation is going on eternally, so do the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees' appearance are taking place eternally. The Lord performs his appearance pastimes in the form of Guru within the material world to bestow his pure mercy upon the jiva souls. As a result of the mercy and association of Sri Guru Padma, Tatashta Shakti, marginal potency, is transformed into a spiritual soul. Jiva soul has no other way except for service to the Lord if he wants to get eternal benefit or real happiness. Generally, it is possible to see only material elements or practice only things related to the 5 material elements in this material world. It is not possible to practice transcendental practices. However, this material body and material existence comes from the transcendental plane. This cannot be denied. The Lord is present within the entire universe and all created material bodies as Paramatma, the Supersoul. He is transcendental. Jiva or Atma is his atomic particle. It is not possible for material vision or for the entities of flesh and blood to serve or behold the Supreme Transcendental Lord or the Supersoul. The Jiva soul with its fleshy eyes has been ignorant of its own identity, the source of its identity, the Supersoul, and the Supreme Lord since time immemorial. And because of it, the Jiva soul has been covered by unwanted elements and ignorance, identifying itself with the body. Shri Guru Padma, the knower of the Vedas, imparts divine knowledge about the self and the world unto the souls who have forgotten Krishna, and liberating them from ignorance guides them on the path to eternal spiritual benefit. Shri Gurudev is the eternal object of the soul's love. He bestows the knowledge of the soul's relationship with the Lord, that the Lord is the master of the world and the Jiva soul is his servant. He establishes the soul within this eternal identity. When the Jiva's soul becomes fixed in this knowledge of the relationship, it becomes possible for it to practice transcendental processes. The highest contribution of Gaudiya Guru Varga is that they impart the spiritual knowledge about Krishna onto the Jiva souls and inspire them to serve Krishna and Krsna, Krishna and his devotees. Krishna and Krsna, the Lord and his devotee, are both transcendental, and the nature of the relationship between them is called devotion or divine love, prema. The devotees who take shelter of divine love always serve and love the object of their love, the Supreme Lord. The Lord always relishes loving relationships with his exclusive devotees. Divine love is a transformation of Hladini, the personal energy of the Lord. This divine love is present between a devotee and the Lord. Both experience this love and both relish it. A life without divine love ends without any result. Although Brahma, impersonal form of the Lord, and Supersoul are considered to be parts of the Lord, divine love can only be seen within the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the personal aspect of the Lord. The worshippers of impersonal Brahman and the yogis who worship Paramatma are happy with the realization of their own form, but they cannot relish the play and pastimes of the Lord's internal potency. Jnanis and yogis receive liberation of merging into Brahman and the Supersoul respectively, and become liberated from happiness, unhappiness, suffering, etc. Devotees, however, establish a loving relationship with the Lord and always strive to serve and please the Lord with all their senses, exclusively and continuously following their Sri Guru Padma, their main shelter. If you live your life guided by the rules set by Gurudev himself, then the desire and eagerness to please the Lord will come within your heart. It is necessary to live following the restrictions and guidance given by Sri Gurudev, by hearing and practicing the instructions emanating from his lotus mouth. You can get love and devotion for the Lord. Devotion of divine love are eternally present in the land of Vaikuntha and Goloka. Divine love is the highest necessity or attainment of the Jiva soul. It is impossible for a Jiva soul to love the Lord or to have devotion for the Lord without the shelter and mercy of Gurudev. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Having travelled throughout the universe and got the mercy of Guru, Krishna, a fortunate soul receives a seed of the devotional creeper. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila. Jiva souls travel throughout 8,400,000 species according to the results of their actions. They continue revolving in the circle of their actions. But if they get a merciful glance of association of Sri Guru Padma, then they get a break from the bondage of karma and lose the taste for material enjoyment. If some thirst for material enjoyment is still not removed from your heart, then you must understand that you have not actually taken shelter of your Guru. If even one drop of Sri Guru's mercy is showered upon you, you will overcome all kinds of obstacles on the path of devotion and feel more and more taste for the service of the Lord and service of his devotees. Deceit, insincerity, and hankering for your own happiness, remove the jiva soul from the path of devotion. Sincere devotees who do not have any other desire take shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Guru Padma and encourage themselves in their continuous service to Krishna and Krsna, Lord Krishna and his devotees. Practicing faith and niguna devotion that lies beyond the three modes of material nature, leads to the attainment of divine love. The Lord becomes controlled by those devotees who have such nirguna devotion or divine love. Shri Krishna Karshini Cha Sha. Shri Krishna attracts everyone. Srila Rupa Goswami and his followers, Gaudiya Guru Varga, have particularly shown the brilliance of divine love that exists beyond the three modes of material nature. If you want to practice such kind of nirguna devotion, you must always associate with pure devotees. With the association and mercy of loving devotees, you cannot come close to the Lord. What to speak of attaining love of the Lord? Mahat kripa bina kona karme bhakta nai, Krishna bhakti rahu dure samsara nahi shai. Without great mercy, you cannot attain the platform of devotional service, to say nothing of devotion for Krishna. One cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. From Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The embodiment of the divine Lord, Sri Gaurasundar, appears in this world with his associates and devotees and preaches about pure devotion, setting the example by his own life. Even when they performed their disappearance pastimes, they nonetheless have kept two gifts within this world. One is the Lord manifest in the form of Guru, and the other one is the Lord manifest in the form of the scriptures. Gaudiya Guru Varga gives special emphasis to following the scriptures. When disciples learn the scriptures from a bona fide Guru and with the desire to serve the Lord and the Guru, then their attachment to the material world, affection and sense of duty towards their relatives becomes weaker. When you come to listen to Bhagavatam, it is not necessary to have any material qualifications, rights, knowledge or talents. If jiva souls surrender, make honest inquiry and hear Bhagavatam in the association of Sri Guru Padma, then such inquisitive souls will quickly progress on the path of pure devotion, developing faith, steadiness, taste, and detachment. It is very easy to take up the path of the service to the Lord, and the result, divine love, comes automatically. Other than this, there are only paths of deity worship and mantra worship. The path of deity worship depends upon many things, and it takes time to get the result. In the path of deity worship, practitioners worship the deity through prescribed mantras, etc. These mantras and rules are found in Narada Pancharatra and other scriptures. Many take the mantra from so-called hereditary gurus. But because there is a lack of realization of the nature of the mantra and the nature of the deity, even if one worships deities for a long time, the power of the material world, samsara sakti, does not leave the worshipper of the mantra or the worshipper of the deity. As a result, such practitioners are prevented from any progress on the path of pure devotion, and their desires for worship and fame take them away from the path of devotion. If one practices deity worship and other devotional practices without any realization about the deity or the conception, then the effect of such practice can often be cracking nuts with a shalagram, shila. So there's a little note here at the bottom. It says, a priest comes to offer some nuts to a Shalagram's Shila, but in the meantime gets very hungry and starts shelling the nuts with the Shalagram Shila. Service to the Lord turns into using the Lord's for one's own pleasure. If you take shelter of a bona fide guru, a representative of the Lord, in whose heart the name and mantra reveal themselves, if you leave all other desires and engage in hearing and speaking about the Lord, if the feeling, you are not an idol, you are Brajendra Nandan, Sri Krishna himself, comes to your heart, then there will be no need for any other artificial practices. If you stay in the association and company of Sri Guru Padma, who both experiences and relishes divine love for the Lord, then exclusive happiness of Lord Krishna becomes more important. When practitioners hear about the Lord with a service mood and honest inquiry, their hearts become clean, and they establish themselves in the servitude to the Lord. In this case, the holy name of the Lord, that is the object of meditation of the liberated souls, easily and naturally reveals itself. The supreme excellence of the mercy of the Gaudiya Guru Varga is that they nurture and nourish us, guiding us on the path of pure devotion, initiating us into this line and continuously teaching us about the transcendental Lord. If fortunate souls get even a drop of their caring compassion, they can always at every moment dip and immerse themselves into the narrations about the Lord and services to the Lord that are like an ocean of the nectarian divine love. The genuine affection of their inexhaustible mercy and association cannot even compare to parental love.
Saraswati was asking for.
Yeah, it's finished. So.
Finishing time. 12:30-ish. Yeah.
Ramananda, you're ready to go? Jai Shri Acharya Maharaj ki jai.
Kishor Prabhu ki jai.
No, not sleeping. Pranayam. I'm doing that. That's good. You're well? You're good? Yeah? Working?
Furlough.
Huh?
It's getting furlough.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
No.
Hey, Balaram got this now.
Oh, yeah, process,
Is it for long or short?
yeah. Long.
Long, okay.
It's only a little bit.
Okay.
Very small, the legs.
He looks different now. I took some time to recognize him.